Hello there, this is SINH from IELTS Fighter, and today we are going to meet up with a very hot teacher here in IELTS Fighter, and he's also one of the most outstanding teachers whose many students have achieved a very high band score in IELTS. And there he is.
Oh, hey.
Hi, have you been waiting for me long?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, and I'm sure that everyone is very eager to meet you right now.
Really?
Yes, so shall we start?
Yes, please, let's start.
Okay, let's go. And we have our teacher here, so can you please introduce a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Hải Đăng and I'm currently teaching at IELTS Fighter.
Okay, and before we start today, I've already prepared a little game called Never Have I Ever for you. So I will give you a series of questions and you just simply answer by raising this piece of paper saying I have or I haven't. Simple, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you ready for those questions?
Yes, I'm ready.
Yes. Okay, so my first question for you would be, never have I ever forgotten a student's name?
Well, I'd say I have.
Okay. Oh, okay. And
well, you know, I have taught like thousands of students, so yeah, it's understandable, right?
Yeah,
Why sometimes I forget their names, but you know, I always try to, I always try as much as I can to actually know their names. Sometimes I understand with the sales consultants to actually learn the names.
Okay, all right. So the second question for you is, never have I ever had a student find me on social media?
Oh yes, I have. They always do. They always fight me even after the first lesson, and that's interesting to me.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Next one. Never have I ever had a favorite student?
That's hard to say. Well, my favorite students often the ones who are really bad at first, but like, after with all the efforts from me and from the students, they got better, and I love that. So yeah, I could say that. Yeah,
I think the best students often give like a much impressive kind of, you know, impression, right, when we first met them, right?
That's true.
Yeah, okay. The next one is, this one is a tricky one. So never have I ever taught without a lesson plan.
Oh, that's tricky. Well, I would say, yeah, I have, but like not without a lesson plan, because you know, I usually teach higher classes like class A and B at IELTS Fighter. So yeah, their English is quite, I say, established. Like they have different strengths and weaknesses. So it's my job to observe and adjust my lesson plans to so they can achieve their maximum potential.
Okay, thank you for your sharing. Next one. Never have I ever caught a student cheating while doing the test.
Yeah, cheating. Well, we all do a little bit, right? You know, studying years. So yeah, I understand them, but you know, I always say to them that it only matters in the real test, not the test as centers. So yeah, I only have to acknowledge that they have to try their own efforts and their own way to for their purpose in future. So,
of course. Okay. And the last one for you is, never have I ever been given a gift by students.
Well, I do. I love my students. They always give me presents, and other teachers as well. Yeah, of course, on teacher days and other special days like our birthdays.
So what is the most surprising gift that you have received so far from the students?
Oh, surprising. I'd say when a group of students gave me a pair of shoes that I actually shared on my Facebook a few days before. So yeah, that's very thoughtful of them, and I'm very emotional, and
they're just so lovely, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, thank you, and that's all the questions of Never Have I Ever.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, this coffee shop has a really cool vintage vibe, right?
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, and do you often go to like coffee shops like this when you have free time?
Well, sometimes, you know, I often hang out with my students or with my friends at the coffee shop, but you know, most of my free time, I love doing sports. I often go to the gym. Yeah, and also I like travel if I have more time. Well, you know, I would say that I'm quite lucky to have been able to travel to quite many places, even in Europe and also in Asia as well.
Amazing! So can you tell us like which countries have you been to specifically?
Well, I could say Sweden, Finland, Russia, France, Germany, and yeah.
Okay.
Some more.
Okay. So speaking of Sweden, I heard that you studied abroad in Sweden, right?
Yeah, I was selected to be an exchange student in Sweden for nearly a year, and I took psychology there, and
Psychology.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay. So I see that you studied psychology in Sweden.
Yeah.
But how come like you decided to be an English teacher?
Well, it's a long story. Well, quite similar to many teachers, I started out by helping my friends to overcome his goal at that time.
Okay.
So yeah, it was challenging at first for sure, but we were finally successful.
Okay.
So yeah. So he actually introduced some others who shared the same problem.
Okay.
And yeah, again we met success again. So yeah, I'd say that I have a little bit the destiny, but a little bit to teach English and IELTS.
Yeah. Okay. So have a seat, please.
Oh, thank you.
So I think that teaching also has something to do with psychology, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's everything is related to psychology a little bit. It's just working with people and understand people more. So yeah, for sure, psychology has helped me a lot in understanding and in knowing my students. I know their problems before they even speak to me. So yeah, that's how I could help my students and adapt my teaching style.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So according to your story, I know that you've been to so many countries and you have a lot of interesting stories to tell your students, right? So is that the thing that make the students like you and get hooked on you?
Well, I don't know about that. Sadly, I don't have any artistic talents like singing or dancing like Mr. doing here.
Okay.
But I really pay attention to telling a good story.
Yeah.
You should include enough details to get those listeners hooked to your story, and I think it's very important. Because storytelling is something that we do not often notice, but it influences us to different extent.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always try to include the storytelling features in my lessons as well to get them, as you say, hooked on my lessons and on me a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And I know that we all started as students, right?
Yeah.
We're all at the same point. At the very beginning. So how did you begin your English journey at first?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I was a very average student in my studying years, and well, on my first test, I actually got like 4 on my listening score.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I made the same mistakes as my students do now. So I really understand them. I really feel them. Okay, so but I believe that everything could get better by doing the right things at the right moments. Yeah,
And especially if we have a right teacher.
Okay,
Right?
perhaps.
And so according to your years of training in IELTS, so what kinds of mistakes do you think that students most likely make during their preparation for the test?
Oh yeah, they have quite some, I would say like popular mistakes, most of students would have if they do not know or if they haven't thought about that before. For example, for the listening skill, which is crazily hard for most Vietnamese students. The reason is simple, because we do not listen enough in our studying years in middle school and high school, all right, and also their preparation approach is is not
really suitable for them.
I mean, so for example, for listening skill, they often think that to listen is like 100% of the job. But to me, I think that the preparing before that.
Prepare. So how? How can we
I mean,
do the
you should actually get to know your listening questions, like get deeper in that, not just like look at them and get over with that. You should get deeper into that. Like you should expect, you should know what to expect.
So what is your teaching philosophy?
Well, personally, I believe in the butterfly effect. It's the small things that lead to big changes. So you know, I have students who achieve 8 overall, and other students think that I must have taught them, you know, some complex grammar structures.
Yeah,
or,
like you have some kind of like secret, right?
Yeah.
To make them like achieve an 8.0.
Yeah, and it should be extremely complicated. Yeah, and also like some big vocabularies, but it's not true. It's just not true. Yeah, in fact, we just start from working with the small details.
Yeah.
Like I have to remind them to put s like after plural forms. Yeah, like to speak with intonation ups and downs, and yeah, kind of small things.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so small things can make like
For sure.
a huge difference.
Yes, I only tell a student that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very important, especially in the IELTS test, because
sure.
most of the students, as you shared with us, like they have to somehow try to use like very big words and idioms and stuff, trying to get a high score, but which actually turns out not as good as they expect, right?
Yeah.
So guys, remember, pay attention to little details, right? Okay, so let's say that if you were not a teacher right now, so what do you think you would be doing?
Well, I would still live in, you know, making the world better from the small things. So I would say I want to become an entrepreneur, you know, like to try the world, to offer advice and solutions to improve and make life, you know, better and more convenient for people.
And to create values for people.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. And my very last question for you. So since you are very somehow good IELTS teacher for sure, because you have many students have achieved like 8.0 in IELTS.
Thank you.
So what are your advice for, I say, English learners and IELTS learners?
Well, for English learners, I want to, you know, change their perspective a little bit, because you know, some students when they come to me, they still think of English as a subject to learn at school, which is, you know, undoubtedly hard, very challenging for sure. Yeah, but I would want them to think that English is a language for you to, you know, to transfer your feelings and thoughts as we do right now, right? Yeah, and it's very convenient. It's very interesting and fun to learn. And you know, for IELTS learners, this is the same advice. You know, try to start working from the minor things at first, and try to build up your, you know, your foundation. Yeah, for sure. Because you know, with a clean, I would say, with a clean speech or writing, you could get like at least a 6, and from that we work from that to have better vocabs, better grammars, and you could achieve even greater results.
Okay, thank you for your valuable advice for the students. And to end today's video, would you like to say a few more words to all of your students?
Well, I would say that, well, you're on the right track just by starting, so keep going with me and we'll reach our destination.
Sure. Thank you so much for being here, honestly, and sharing with us your amazing story.
Yeah, thanks for listening. I will see you at IELTS Fighter.
Thank you.
Bye.
And bye.